kids are almost,
Sorry, I forgot to record.
thank goodness my kids are almost 16, so they'll have their license, they can pick themselves up. But right now, it's kind of hard because they have activities after school and all this and before school. So, right now, one of my personal things on my calendar is making sure they get to and from where they need to go. So as soon as that's over, my schedule will free up. But I had a client the other day that always wanted to look at houses between 4:30 and 6. And I'm like, I can't. When can we do it other than that? And I had to keep talking to him. And finally we worked it out, but I felt bad, like Colleen said, I kind of felt bad because I was trying to fit him in my schedule and it was personal stuff that was pushing him. And so I had to, keep talking and we figured it out. But, that was one thing that I couldn't tell my kids you're just gonna walk. It's a little far. So, you have to prioritize those things. And like we said, check your calendar the day before for what you have tomorrow, just so you can plan and get the right mindset too.
So when you are thinking about a schedule, this is mostly for people who have nothing, but I think it's also a good thought process for as you're building out your time block schedule. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of your time block schedule as an overlay to your actual calendar. Okay, so this time block schedule is going to be the framework within how you're going to work for your business and your life. And then your life is going to fit into that framework. Okay, your business, your life. So I want you to think about some questions. Not every single person at this table, their time block is going to look different and feel different and work differently because each one of us is individual. Each one of us has different things in our business, different things in our life. Some of us are doing construction, some of us are doing leasing, some of us are doing kid pickup, some of us are doing, gotta go help an elderly parent. I mean, you never know, or some of us have a second job and have to fit that in as well, or third jobs or whatever it is. And so every single person. And so you also all have different personalities, and that's going to be super important in the way that you look at your time block system and you function within it. Okay, so I want you to think about how you've done over the last couple of years / your life of, are you just kind of willy-nilly? Do you just kind of say, oh, somebody says I need to do something and I'm going to just fit them in? Or are you very structured? Do you like to have, I know I'm going to do this then and this then, and I'm going to fit within this time frame, and I'm good with that? Do you have a lot of family needs? Do you have a lot of things that need to fit into that? Are you have ADD and need to take breaks because your brain can't process for 3 hours at a time? That's me. I can't do that. I have to know I got to get up. I have to move around. I need to get a little snack, whatever. That's important to know, because if you schedule yourself for all morning to be working and your brain doesn't think that way, your schedule will fail. And there's no point in putting a schedule in place that's going to fail for you. So it's important to think about that. And again, not everybody at the table is going to need the same thing. The other thing you want to think about is, how do you divide up your play versus work mode? Are you willing to intersperse play and work? Or you only want to work until you're done and then I'm going to play, kind of thing? Because it's going to make a difference on how you look at your schedule and what you're going to place and what you're going to put here and there. And then lastly, do you need flexibility? Maybe not every day is going to be doing the same thing. Maybe you have to do some things on Monday that you wouldn't do on Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe you have to schedule your weekend for some work because it's not going to fit into the weekday part of it. Maybe you need to schedule into nights where other people at the table are not going to schedule into nights. Maybe you don't like maybe you're a night owl and you don't like to get up super early, and you might need to think about that. So you need to make sure that you think about you, and it represents yourself and what your needs are and your family's needs. And then the next thing to do is think about how are you going to incorporate what you want to advance your business into the schedule, because that's going to matter. Are you going to want to spend 8 hours a day working on your business? Maybe you don't want to invest that much time. Maybe you only want to invest 4 hours a day. How fast do you want to grow? It's your choice.
Yeah, it's like I take Mondays off as a personal day because we work quite a lot through the weekends. And I had told myself that, you know, what I mean by that is that's kind of when I can go to the grocery store, right? Or like do a house project or something like that. The reality is I still work on that day, but I don't work like that. Like
You're not at the computer doing
likely to
contracts.
push work off unless you just can't.
You put out
To the
fires.
next day, because, you know, I have to do stuff too, and yeah, I might have not worked Saturday and went to a pool party, and on Sunday I chilled around the house, but I still kind of take Monday as a personal day, because there are some days where we are working, and if we don't take that day, then 7 days turns into 14, turns into 21.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, I haven't had a day off, and that's
Yeah.
how the beginning of my year was, well, I haven't had a day off in 2 months.
Well, and that's a excellent comment and example of work burnout, right? So it's important that we have a good balance. Always, it's important to have a good balance. Time blocking, I don't want all of your blocks of time to be about work. That is not
Yeah.
good work-life balance. And it is important to know that and to be mindful of that. As Kevin said, you need to schedule your vacations. If you worked in an 8 to 5 job with a salary coming in, you'd be getting a vacation. And you should be saving for that said vacation that you're scheduling on your schedule.
Well,
So-
and like Brooklyn said, we work when we have the business, so our personal time is important, because when you do have work, you may have to put off some of your personal stuff, but you know, when you I might be laying out by the pool in the summer during the middle of the week on a Wednesday with my
Uh-huh.
friends,
And it's
but I may be working my butt off Wednesday night.
It's
or-
very
Or
hard.
all weekend.
You know,
Yeah.
I still struggle a lot with that. And Stephanie and your partners, I'm telling you, your partners and having a real estate relationship is a crazy one. But I struggle with that too. It's just like, especially like, oh my gosh, I was so busy and now I don't have anything to do. The world's collapsing. And then I remind myself, this is the way it works. It's
Well,
it's
what
gonna be okay. The
What helped me
universe.
was COVID, and what helped me was I have friends that have schedules like that. Like, you know, my other half is a flight attendant, so that schedule's flexible. One of my best friends, he's a motivational speaker, so his is all like specific events and trips. So they're always available during the week. And so we might do something on a Tuesday, or we may go walk the Katy Trail and have a margarita, you know, it just, whatever, you know, but when I have to work, like if y'all call me, I always answer my phone. I've got my earpods on and I'm answering calls wherever I'm at. So, you know, we work when we have the work, but like we're talking about, you have to, you know, work around your time blocking.
And some things are time sensitive. Back in the fall, I was going on a cruise. I had planned it. I lined up another agent to go show this house for me. I was literally writing an offer as we were pushing back from shore. I've been on several cruises, so it wasn't a big deal for me to miss it, but I'm like, I can't keep on talking, I'll drink later, you know, and I'm typing because that was important to get that offer in. And I reminded myself, remember like the last 3 weekends that you weren't doing shit. You can miss the.
Well, I'll give you my vacation
pushback
still.
kind of thing, you know?
I wrote 3 offers on vacation just now.
And
When
then-
you're on vacation, you're
if you-
busy, so
if
just
you
stay on
don't-
vacation.
If you don't have business, go on vacation.
don't have
and you
business, go on
have flights and have things that are-
Oh,
That's
I
what
did-
we saw.
I just helped Karen. She's like, I've been not busy for a while and now I'm
Right.
about to go on vacation
Uh-huh.
and they want to have an offer. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll probably
That's
be
how it
making offer
happens,
as I'm
but
going to the airport. I'm
That's a
like,
good problem to have.
this is
Yeah.
how it works. So we just have to
I
know.
Why
still
you're
go
gonna
out
pay
and
for
look
that
at the
vacation.
beach and top of an
Yeah,
offer.
yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah,
Okay, so next, so it's important that you, as Kevin said, that you stick to your plan. If there's something happens, there's an emergency, or there's something that pushes one of your blocks, make sure you reschedule that block to another time. That's important. But mostly, just try to stick to your plan. Try to schedule within the blocks that you have. That way you'll be consistent. And the more you do it, your body will, it's like muscle memory. Your body's gonna be like, oh, I need to be doing this right now. You're gonna be productive in that time frame when you do that. Questions?
how do you have, maybe you'll get to this, a suggestion for like prioritization, like let's say one of my things on my time blocking for work is Facebook posts or social media. And not necessarily like posting stuff, but just interacting to make yourself be seen, whatnot. Well, that's probably pretty low on the work list. But if I didn't get to any of my time blocking work stuff today, like you color coded or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
One
Okay.
thing I do, like Alicia calls it in our power hour or brain dump. So right here in this, like, one of these early hours of the day, I'm gonna sit down with my book and brain dump for the day. Or I think Alicia might even say, or Kevin said, do it the night before so you understand, like you end your night with essentially setting your schedule for the next day. So what I do is I write out, I just think about, first it's clients, right?
Yeah.
Write their names, just write their names, so whenever you wake up, you're just, okay, I know I need to check on them, I need to check on them. And write out everything you wanna do, sometimes, and I just carry them over to the next day, to the next month. Literally, I have some of those things
yeah.
that I've
that
carried
you
over
still
to the
haven't gotten around
next
to.
year. But you know what is
Yeah.
priority.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so I don't color coordinate them, but my way of doing it is looking at the book and marking
And
stuff
there's a
off.
difference between time blocking and to-dos. because-
yeah,
Because what I do is I have my time blocking, but then I have on my phone, on my notes, I have my to-do
important
list.
to do.
And there was, like she said, there was 2 things on my to-do list that I kept like keeping on there and keeping
Yeah,
on there.
I
You know,
got
and you know
one
what,
that's like-
yesterday, it
You
was
did it.
Monday, I finally like I said, I've got to do these things. And one of them was my new car. I finally got my license plate. Well, I hadn't called the tollway authority to get a toll tax. So I kept going on the tollway, getting these notices that I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
have higher bills and stuff. And that was easy. I just had to call and set it up. And then another one was stupid. It was to go to Costco.
Yeah,
So
And
I
I
think,
kept not going to Costco. So
I think
you
she'll-
just move
yeah.
it to the next day.
I keep these tasks. One of them is get your passport renewed. I set it for every single day. So that
because it's
before,
not, yeah.
but so you can set tasks
Yeah.
and check them off as you go, and so you can't actually color coordinate them in Google Calendar.
But you know, somebody told me once, they said little things like that you don't do weigh on you and you don't know
Uh-huh.
it.
They
You
do.
don't
Eat
realize
frogs
it.
or-
And one time, the lady that was my manager at the time, she said, you know, what's one thing that you haven't done over the past week, month, year, that would be easy for you to do today?
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, what is it? And it was like, my brakes needed to be replaced. And I'm like, okay, I'll take my car today. Well, once I did that, I actually
Yeah.
felt better.
Yeah,
And, you know, it was silly, but I was like, you know,
you get tired of looking at it
If you
every
put
day.
it- yeah, but if you put it on your to-do and you keep transferring day to day, you'll eventually do it.
But it looks like she has a place in here, if you time block off this, where you can knock out your Facebook post, so
Yeah,
you
So
don't
what
forget.
I will say is for Facebook posting, for social media stuff, you can integrate that. Okay. In most cases, all of us scroll, watching
Yeah.
TV or
Yeah.
whatever, you can integrate that time at the same
Yeah.
time.
When you're sitting,
Um,
have your oil change, you gotta do it in your social media.
Yes, I actually believe that that is more important than you're probably putting
probably.
merit
is.
on.
Yeah.
Because I think that for the visibility of it, it is very important. Can it be pushed out? Absolutely, but it is definitely something that I would say is definitely important. So we're gonna get to that, and we're gonna get to, I mean, you're gonna know what you can push, what you can't. And we're gonna go from there.
Like, I don't put much, that's a perfect example. I don't put much emphasis on social media, like, you know, it's not, but I know I need to do it because it's marketing, it's interacting, people see me, they were reminded that I'm a realtor, but I don't think that's very important in my current calendar, but
Well,
I need to
Alicia
move
says
on
that
to
you
the
need to do
list.
it 15 times a month, buddy, so you
I
need
need
to.
to, well, I just took a class yesterday on.
Well,
marketing,
Another
social
thing
marketing.
too is, get it in your time block, and instead of stressing out about what am I gonna post, remember the little things like Alicia has the little canvas that you can do real
Yes.
quick, or go to the back agent and there's gonna be a blog, share the blog, make it like super mindless. I can give you some pages you can join. The lighter side of real estate is totally for me because it's funny. And they put some funny stuff up there, and just share.
And I need to remember, like, during that 20 minutes that I need to be work focused instead of like, oh, wow, this, because I'm a squirrel,
Well, they're both
I have
important,
some things, I have some tools for you that will
Okay.
help with that.
awesome.
but like Eva, you did that post that Alicia shared. How long did it take you to do that?
No.
Like, it's literally, once you do it once, it takes
Yeah.
like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Is that somebody's car here?
No, I think it's broken down.
Oh, okay.
You've been doing it for a bit,
Sorry.
yeah, you
I'm
gotta
like, oh, no.
so those things that she shares, I mean, that takes just like 3
Yeah.
to 5 minutes.
Right.
To change your picture and share it.
Right.
And that's
Yeah, Kevin's
impactful.
been doing good.
I'm trying to do it every day.
Kevin's been
I better work on
Well,
some
but
more.
you said so many out that there's so many for us to use. I mean, you could do one almost every
Yes.
other day for a month.
Now I
Yeah.
have a monthly maintenance one that I'm gonna send out to everybody too, so.
But
Nice.
what I was gonna say too, I have time for that. I mean, make sure I do that, but then I also do what I call stalk. people.
Right. See, I just get on it small.
And that's okay, because I found
Purpose
tons of
driven.
business from that. Like,
Yes.
like, I had one of my old clients one time say, oh, is anybody showing real estate during COVID? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm your realtor. I'm showing you real estate during COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she would have, another person I know referred another agent to her on that post. If I hadn't seen that, she might have used somebody else.
Yeah.
So, that stalking is important, but
Yeah, and
don't
we'll talk
do
about that
everything
here in a
else
minute.
first
Yeah,
before you stalk.
Yeah.
Be
Sorry,
purposeful
Alicia,
about
we
it.
So,
can't talk yet.
actually, you can time block time to stalk, so it's intentional.
That's the thing.
And I
need to
think
stay
that that's
outside
where
and
we
be
have to get,
intentional
and the other, I think that, what I have found is that if you make a list of some people that you specifically, I'm putting in quotes, target,
about it. Yeah,
that you want to specifically be in touch with and communicate on a more regular basis. You're gonna look them up, you're gonna search their name,
Yeah.
rather than going through the feed. You're
right.
gonna go look for them, you're gonna put them on your friends list, so they're easily able to get
People that
to.
you know might.
and you're
know
gonna
your life
say,
changed
Or you just want to be more involved in their life or whatever it is. Or maybe they're people that respond to your posts. Those people are attentive and are paying attention to you.
Well, we
So-
talked about this Sunday. I think what day it was, Sunday, but there's an agent that someone gave me some information about, and he knows that agent, and all I did was start actually commenting on their post rather than liking it. And then all of a sudden, that agent sent me a private message and we started talking. And it was because it would benefit them to be here in their current situation. And an affiliate told me that. And, that was a relationship I had where they said, you need to talk to this person. So,
Yeah.
I just started focusing on it. And then another example, I had a $1.4 million house sell. It's because I kept in contact with the people for 7 years. And it was just like looking at their Facebook and commenting, like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, your kids are
Commenting
getting so
is the
big.
key.
Or
Yes.
this or that, or I sent them texts like saying happy anniversary or happy birthday. And they're like, you were so on top of it. No, I'm not. I just focused on them
Yeah,
because I
you
knew
made it
they would
a priority.
eventually, because they tried to buy a house and they decided to stay in the house they were in, but I knew they were gonna do that eventually. And so, I had $1.4 million sell because I kind of, would you call it, targeted them?
Targeting.
I call it stalk them.
Okay, so here are some tips. The first one is already what Kevin said, schedule your day, the night before. So look at your schedule. You're gonna look at your time, you're gonna have your time block overlay on your calendar. You're gonna look at your schedule, you're gonna say, okay, how's that gonna fit in there? Oh crap, I have a doctor's appointment. Where's that gonna go? And how can I move that around? Because I was not doing that. So that's a great way to be on top of it. That way you're not scrambling in the morning trying to figure things out. Because what happens when we scramble in the morning is then it leads to a lot of time blocks bleeding over to times that we don't have. Okay, so that's just be proactive and do that. Look at top 2 or 3 things that you'd like to accomplish in that day. Put it on your list. Put it at the top of your list. What is it you're trying to accomplish today? Is it, I want to get comments done on Facebook. I want to get my brakes changed. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be for your business, but it needs to be, you need to think about what it is that you might want to accomplish that day. I put this on here, I copied this from someone else, and I have a little bit of a comment about that. It says, schedule the most important task of the day to be the first time block. That works great if you're a morning person. Okay, so if you're a morning person, what I want you to do is I want you to think about when is the best time of day for you? When is your brain the best and the most active and the best at what it's doing? Schedule your important things then. If I asked my daughter to schedule the most important things in the morning, she would never get anything done because that is not her best time. Her best time is more at night. Mine is the morning. I'm gonna get my stuff done in the morning, and so I've got, my day gets away from me. But that's, I just wanted to, what I should have said is schedule them for whatever the time slot is that's the best for your brain. The next part is making your time block specific, not just work. Because then you're gonna go in every day and you're like, what am I supposed to do for work? Am I supposed to be marketing? Am I supposed to be doing lead generation? Am I supposed to be figuring out my finances to know if I even have the money to do this? What is it I'm supposed to be doing within work? So instead of saying work, you can have a work block, or you could just say marketing, or put Facebook posts or Facebook commenting, or search for houses, do offers, those kinds of things. Be extremely specific. For your times with your family, have dinner. This is my time for dinner. This is my time for doing appointments with doctors. This is my time for having time with my family, or free time even. Mark your time out for free time and enjoy that in yourself, knowing you earned it by doing all of the things that you were supposed to that day. This one was really interesting. Decide how long the task will most likely take, and then multiply it by 3. And especially if you're just starting out, we don't really know how much time things take. So give yourself a lot of grace. Feel flexible in, oh, wow, that marketing took me an hour when I thought it would take me a couple of minutes. And give yourself grace and know that, and give yourself a lot of extra time at the beginning, and then shorten it up as you need to, okay? And then color code. I feel like color coding is really good because it's easy to see at a glance. Oh, blue, I gotta do marketing in blue. Oh, green is my kid time, money time. I always use green for money, or whatever. I will show you. Don't be scared, but I'm going to show you my my personal calendar, not my work calendar. I color code everything, and I have a different color for every person in my family. Hold on. Mail. I also color code based on schools, because I have schools intertwined in here. And I think it's wonderful because I can see this belongs to this person, or super slow.
I think that block 3 times as long as you think it'll take is really interesting.
It is. And I think that obviously is something that you'll get the hang of.
Yeah, once you know, like I remember things like when first learning how to write contracts and DocuSign and ZipForms, and I'm like, this should be easy. I just want to put this one thing right there, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Oh, it disappeared on this version of it. Now I've got to redo it again. It's frustrating, but when you do have time, take some time to play with that stuff, because sometimes it's. I remember when I wrote my first contract, I'm like, Kevin, how do I do this? And I kept calling him, and what should have taken me 30 minutes took me like 3 hours, and they're like, is it still coming? Yes, it's still coming,
And I hear that a lot,
out
because one of our agents that's been here a little while, he says, it takes me 4 hours to enter a listing. I'm like, seriously? Yeah. It takes me like 15 minutes. And he's like, but that's you. And I'm like, wait, it could be you. You just need to keep trying. No, I mean, it's because some people overthink things.
Yes.
And you think you're doing it wrong, but you're really doing it
Yeah.
right. So I always tell them, just do it and then send it to me. And if there's anything wrong, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So you can see how color blocking is important, because you can, like, I can see what's on what calendar. I can see like purple. My oldest is purple. My youngest is blue. I mean, my middle is blue. My youngest is orange. So I think it's important for a glance. It's really good to see that.
Mhm.
Now, as you are doing it for time blocking, The next slide, no, the next slide is shows something else, but I'll show you in a minute. When you're doing it for time blocking, it's good because it's going to show you the chunks of time in the color that you're going to do. Because your schedule, when you time block, is going to, every minute's going to be scheduled out. There's not going to be any gaps. That's intentionally that way. Okay, next. Okay, this is the flyer that, or the handout that I gave you. So the people on Zoom, you can download that. If you don't have it, let me know and I can resend it. So these are two proposed options or things that would be helpful or ways to time block in your life as a real estate agent. These are real estate agent specific. So let's go over the first one, daily schedule for realtors. This gives you an idea of what you might, how you might break up your day and what you might do within them. I would say if there are things in here, like for example, listing appointments and showing properties, you may not have something to fill every day for that. So what I might suggest to you is you say, if I do not have listing appointments or showing properties that day, already premeditate what you might do to fill that time, rather than just, that's a 3-hour block. So if I don't have anything going on then, what might I do instead to still generate some kind of business things? Whether it's do more marketing or work on my finances or catch up from other things or do some lead generation, things like that.
Well, you have a block, because that's a floating block for me. Because I could have showings at 9
Well,
o'clock.
you
in the
know the
morning.
drill. This is just a blueprint.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to move that stuff around. Again, I feel like these two have said that if you end up having to bump something for something, just be sure you replace it. But yeah, I mean, like, okay, in the summertime, we're out showing houses till dark. So that's 8:39, right? So
Yeah.
this is a good, like, great for winter, which I think we're getting rid of that time thing. So that might help us out. Great for winter, but in the summertime, we show properties till it gets dark,
Yeah,
right? And that's the same in the winter.
Well, and this is just a rough draft. This is
Yeah.
not gonna fit every single person at this table,
Yeah.
but it does give you ideas of what to put into your blocks.
It's like this, I was telling Alicia, as new agents, and you know this just the same, I said, we need to give new agents or agents in general something to say, well, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm not doing anything. Well, at least just do
Grab
this.
a block.
Do something on this.
Yeah.
All right, like.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, you might want to schedule different times because people have
Yeah.
different schedules. But you might say to yourself, maybe in your blocks, you say you have a morning showing block and an afternoon, evening showing block. And you could say to clients, I show houses during this time and this time. Which one fits your schedule better?
Mhm.
And of course, if it's not working out perfectly, then you can move things, but you might do that. And again, if you don't have anything for that block, in your head, have a premeditated idea of, if I have nothing to fill with this block with showings, I'm going to do X instead. Okay? That's what I would do. I mean, you could easily switch business servicing with showing appointments. Those could be flip-flopped or interchangeable, right? Business servicing is responding to emails, texts, calls, checking on listings, things like that, right? So I think that you need to think about that. Or lead generation could easily be switched out with showing. So again, this is just a framework. It's not exact, but it's a great thing to think about what you might be doing with your time blocks. The next one we got from Elisa Real Estate, and this is like hour by hour what you're going to be doing. This might stress you out. This might be like, oh my gosh, this is way too scheduled in my life. And if that's the case, then divide it up. Like you don't have to, you can say, well, I'm going to do only some of this, or my blocks are going to have to be bigger than this, or I'm going to have it more generalized. That's okay. But this gives you an idea of what you can do within your timeframes and how you can do it. Does anybody have any questions about these or thoughts or comments about it?
I think the biggest thing, or another thing that's really helpful with time blocking is when you do get busy with with offers and showings and whatnot, you forget to market. And you don't wanna, what is it called, roller coaster, real estate, like where you're like all excited and you've got all this stuff and I'm not worried about future clients because I'm so busy trying to get everything together now.
Right.
And then you're dead and you don't have anything. Well, it takes what, 3 months to get paid from, or I don't know what the numbers are now from the time you start working with someone until they close. And it's important that you still bring in more business and
Always lead
Absolutely.
generation.
you are your own,
Absolutely.
you are your own marketing, you're your own PR, you're your own.
And you can't ignore part of it.
Yeah, you can't. And
Yeah.
it's easy to neglect it.
And this
especially
gives you the
when-
reminder to do
Yeah.
that still.
Yeah.
And the space in your brain.
Yes.
I'm sorry, now I'm in marketing time.
Yeah. That's just gonna happen.
Next, I'll be in showing time and I'll talk to you then. And it's okay to block it out and only do marketing within the marketing time. Actually, that's what you should be doing. You should say, I have an hour and I'm going to fill this hour with time for marketing. And when that hour is over, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to continue doing the things and run over into my other time block. That's very, very important that we stop at the end of your time block. It's respectful of your time. You're respecting yourself when you do that. Because you already preset what you wanted to do. Again, if that preset doesn't work out, fix it, change it. This is flexible, but also know that it's important to respect what you put in place. Okay. Anybody on Zoom have a question?
So I just wanted them to know.
Nope. Okay.
Not being a fun.
Okay, the next thing is we encourage Google Calendar and Google Accounts in Halo. So the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to create a time block schedule in Google. Okay? I'm gonna sit down for this one because it's gonna be a hands-on, and then we will have time, and this is perfect timing because we're about to have lunch shortly.
I know, it's not gonna be that.
What?
Well, it's a blueprint, so it's blue, and I'm gonna let Alicia do it because I've already cheated and already started mine, but I have some questions for her too.
So, yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing this page for a minute and I'm going to show you, not that. Let's see. Okay, so here I'm gonna make on my calendar at my work calendar, I'm gonna make my time block calendar. Okay, so you're gonna go to your calendar for Gmail. If you have this as your email, then you're gonna go to your little calendar thing and push this arrow with the box. And then it'll bring up your calendar like this, okay? Everybody follow? Oh, you're not, sorry, the people on Zoom can't see me. Hold on a second. Here. Okay, now you guys can see me. So now you're on your calendar. You can always go to your waffle and click that and go to your calendar that way. That will give you your whole page of calendar. To add a time block calendar there, so if you don't already know, Google has your base calendar, but you can add any calendar you want to Google. You could have a work calendar. I used to have a meal planning calendar. I would used to have a calendar for every kid. I found out it was better to just have one for one family and then everybody divided it out. You can share that calendar with other people if you want to give it to them as well. So here's how you add it. Right under my calendars, you come over here to other calendars and you click the plus sign. Here, you're going to just say create new calendar. Okay, and then I'm going to call it time block. You can call it whatever you want to. Framework, she calls it blueprint. You can call it whatever you want to. Time block. Create calendar. Okay. This is going to then give me, now I'm still in settings, so I'm going to go out of settings and I'm going to come to my calendar and here it is, time block, okay? I am going to take away all the viewpoint of all my other calendars, so I just have a big blank calendar. Okay, so now I have a big blank calendar. I'm going to start in my day mode.
If anybody.
Am I going too
No,
fast?
no, no, but if they do, I've already done mine, so.
Actually, I'm gonna do by week because I want to show a little bit more of that. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Good. Okay, so now you're gonna want to think through your day. And I'm gonna get everybody a piece of paper and we will mark out the times and you can kind of think through what you want to do. When do you wake up in the day? I wake up at 6:30. So I'm gonna start on Monday because my brain starts weeks on Monday. And I'm gonna say, wake up and kid duty. That is what I do from 6:30 to 8:30-ish. So I'm gonna change my time, 6:30 to 8:30. I'm gonna repeat it every single day. Now, I don't do that on the weekends, so I'm only going to do it on weekdays, every weekday, Monday to Friday. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Kevin, can you show her the paper?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so every weekday from 6:30 to 8:30, I wake up, do kid duty, get dressed, take shower, all the things. That's what I do during that slot. You might have a workout, you might have I don't know, walk the dog, who knows? So you can click, Stephen asked, how did I get to this point? I'm gonna save it. You can click create, or you can just click at the time that you want to make the block. I wanted to make it at 7:30 or 6:30, so I just clicked it and it started a new section. Okay. Now, notice mine's already going every week. So I'm gonna go to the next week. See, it's already there. There's my time block. Okay, so that's my first one. Now I can alter it if I want to. You just click on it and use the little pencil. I could change up the words. I could add in something else to it. I could put in more things. Kid duty and walk the dog. My dog would love that if I actually did it. Also, I'm going to make family time, instead of being red, which was the automatic color of the calendar, I'm going to make that yellow because I want family personal time to be yellow stuff. Okay. And I'm going to change it for not just this event, but all the events I've ever made. Now, if you didn't want to, if you wanted to do it for this going forward or those things, you can change that. Is everybody following?
How did you do it? So it's like every day, but not only.
Okay, I'll show you. There's a repeat button. So here we go. Here's another one. Right here, you're going to type in whatever it is. Right here, it says does not repeat. Okay, you click on does not repeat and it drops down with a drop down box. Do you see that?
Yeah, I clicked that and then it's into.
Okay, click. Okay, hold on. Let me see your page. Show it to me again.
Yeah, I clicked on it for more.
Daily. Okay, now you can do it every Tuesday, weekly on Tuesdays, monthly every first Tuesday, annually, or every weekday, Monday to Friday. Or if, let's say, you wanted to only do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can do custom. And you will go in, I'll show it to you. Let's say you want to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and want to work out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You click custom, you say repeats either once a week, once a month, once a day, once a year, and you can say I want it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. And you can even have it turn off. I'm only going to do this for 6 weeks. You can do it after a certain amount of occurrences or by a specific date. Let's see, I'm going to work out. Okay, this is going to be yellow. I'm going to change my color right here because yellow is my personal time. And I'm going to do that from 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, now you see that on the calendar, I've only got it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do on these days. I think maybe on these days, I'm going to do lead generation calls. So we're going to do, these are all money making ideas. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say repeats custom on Tuesday and Thursdays every week. And now I have every Tuesday and Thursday, I do lead generation pulse. Okay, how's everybody doing? What questions do you have?
Does it give you like an alarm for each one? or does it-
So that is a wonderful question. You can make it. Let's do that. Okay, so here we go. This was, oh, by the way, Google is super cute because I put walk the dog. Look what it puts up here. Automatically, I did not change that. My daughter works at Dairy Queen and it actually has a picture of the Dairy Queen on it.
Yeah,
So-
Dairy Queen, first round ever.
Okay, so here it is, walk the dog. You can show it as busy on your calendar. If you didn't want it to be busy, you want it to be free. If all of these things you didn't want to show on your calendar as busy, if you made your public calendar, you can show them as free. You can add a notification. If you want it to remind you to switch, you can add a notification. So you can, notifications come to you via a ding if you have your calendar open, or if you have your calendar synced on your phone, it will make a noise, or it will send you an email. Your choice, whichever one you want. You can choose to have it be in minutes, hours, days, however much notification. If you were going to notify me, I wanted to switch to the next task, you might want to do 0 minutes before it starts the new task. Or if you need I need extra time to know I'm gonna have to switch in 5 minutes, it would ding 5 minutes before, whatever minutes you want. If you need extra, like you're a hit the snooze kind of person and you need multiple notifications, you just add another one. Change the time. I need one every 5 minutes before I have to do this thing. Okay? Questions? You can even write your own notes about what you're gonna do in that, put links about it, all, any kind of that. Yes, good. Okay, so we're gonna change all the events because I want to be reminded that we have to wake up. No, it's not gonna be an alarm like I need to set my alarm. It's just gonna be one-time ding is all it is. That's what calendar reminders do. So if you, I mean, if you're using this as your alarm, it's still set a regular alarm. Okay. But then you can go through this whole thing and you can think about what does my day look like? You can use these ideas and we can chunk out some time. Who would needs a piece of paper to think about their day?
No, I can do it on here, but I might have a question. Well, it's not personal, it would be helpful, but I have a question for you whenever.
I'm ready.
Okay, so if I have done my thing for the whole day, for the whole week, well, really, I'd kind of maybe need your help if I could modify this slightly, because right now I guess I have it Monday through Friday, but I don't work on Monday. Anyways, we can figure that out. If I wanted, so I set these as events.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and this is the generic layout. But if I want to go into, so from 11 to 12, I'm doing conversion and client follow-up, handwritten notes and things like that. Is there a way to add tasks into this little subsection of what needs to be happening during that hour as a reminder for me?
I'd
Would
put
there
it,
be tasks?
I would put them in the notes section. That is a wonderful question. I do not know if you can
Because
do,
I like tasks and they do work, and so that was what I was working on right now, and maybe I jumped the gun and asked you. Because I like to, because right now it just says conversion and client follow-up, but I need to be more specific, right, in what I mean. That means
Well-
entering all my clients and also following up with my past clients, whether it be handwritten notes, phone calls, it's just my past client.
okay, so
Follow-up
if
tasks.
you want to do tasks, tasks are lovely and wonderful and a wonderful way to keep track of what you're doing. Google offers tasks.
Yeah.
So does, by the way, you can do the same concept in Apple. If you are an Apple person, you can do the same thing in Apple Calendar with reminders, with tasks, with all those things. It's just gonna look like Apple stuff, but the same concepts will apply. And if you need assistance with that, I can help you.
And your Google Calendar will sync up with your Apple, so you could do both.
Yes,
have my
although I
Google
will,
calendars going on,
I
but they're
will
all on
tell
my
you
phone,
that
so.
if you add things on your calendar and you don't use the Google app, but you put them on a Google Calendar, the coloring doesn't quite work out. If that matters to you. But if you use the Google Calendar, the coloring will work out, like it will apply. Okay, you ask about tasks. So let's say you do that time slot at X day, every, this, whatever day it is. You can add a task, Brooklyn. You can add a task. You can then choose the date and time, and you can repeat it every whatever day it is. So that it'll come up if you wanted to. The other option is you could say, you could create a task and you could say conversion time, and then you could have tasks underneath those.
Okay, I'll work on that. But I have my setup, so that's good. I can work on being more specific. Because like you.
Because
were
see, look
really
at this,
specific.
look, we're adding a task, and then you could say conversion time, and then you could add subtasks underneath those of here's what I have to do with these. Or you can put your general concept of what you want to do in those time slots. It's Colleen's phone.
I think it's,
If you want to know what you're doing within those tasks, you can put it in the notes.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna work on now.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys work on this, I'll be right back.
watch the short video.
Work on much just said.
Start throwing paper balls.
Put something in her coffee.
Yeah.
No, I don't work on that, actually.
You use your Apple, you use Apple Calendar.
I use, most of the stuff goes on my Google.
You do use the Google Calendar app.
No, it just shows
Shows
up.
up on Apple Calendar.
I don't know, it's on my calendar.
Everything on my.
I don't use it.
Maybe I'll be free for you guys, so Alicia's doing.
Yeah,
go
go
for
for
it.
it.
Please do.
You're.
I recognize so
face.
many of you
Yeah.
from the last time, a couple times I've spoken here. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dawn with One Guard Home Warranty.
Hello.
And hello, I'm just here, to sponsor lunch.
Oh, you're also on TV, Dawn. You're
Oh, I am.
online.
Hello.
There's the camera.
Oh, okay, why can't you continue?
No, we're done. This is the perfect
It's a
time.
perfect segue.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say hi, see if you guys have any questions about home warranties. I've spoken about it so many different times. I don't know if you know the difference between like a home warranty and homeowners insurance, or you have questions about that. You have thoughts on that?
Let's see, I could probably engage in some home warranty questions. What is the difference in home warranty versus homeowners insurance?
Homeowners insurance covers more of the repairs from a natural disaster. So I'm coming from California, so I'm going to use an earthquake as an example, but if you have an earthquake and it breaks your pipes and the toilet, it's flooding everywhere or whatever, anything that is a broken repair to the toilet or the pipes due to that earthquake, we wouldn't cover it. Your homeowner's insurance would cover it.
Like a tornado hit your
Yeah,
roof. and it's just
exactly.
fall.
Right, then that's a homeowner's expense.
Sure.
Like I had the other day, not the other day, a couple of years ago, a pipe that the city had that broke through the grass, and the pebbles and the water are just spouting over my house into my backyard, and my roof got messed up. And part of the pool too, actually. And homeowners insurance would cover that because it's due to something that's not a mechanical thing that's wrong in the house. So then home warranties cover more of the mechanical issues of the appliances, refrigerator, oven, toilet. Pool coverage would be the actual mechanical part, so it would be the pumps, not the pipes under the pool or the plaster. One thing about OneGuard is, and I actually learned this from JJ from your office, because he uses OneGuard a lot, is that you can purchase extended plumbing coverage, which will cover the pipes on the outside of your house up to a certain amount of footage. So that if they say, sorry, the clog is not within the house, it's outside, you could still get it covered through that. So it's, and actually homeowners insurance, my car was broken into one time, and all my luggage, my overpacked so badly. Every piece of clothing I own that's cute, it was all in my luggage and it was stolen. and my homeowner's insurance covered for that to be covered. So that's kind of the difference. It's more appliances, mechanical, that type of thing. With the air condition coming up, the air conditioner season with the HVAC, you just want to maybe remind your clients or those that are buying something that with the HVAC, if it's a pre-existing condition, we won't cover it. If it's a condition that they don't know about and it's pre-existing, like say they waived the inspection and they didn't know that the coil was bad on the air conditioner, then they would look at fixing the repair and that, because you have proof you don't have an inspection. Now, I'm sure if you're lying, I don't have one and you have, they can research that and find it out. But we had that happen the other day where actually it was they did have an inspection, but the inspector didn't catch that something wasn't working and they covered it. So, and then there was another one where the homeowner, I might have told you about this one. Homeowner did know that the heating and air wasn't working properly. So the seller had someone come out and fix it and told the buyer, oh, we fixed it. Well, when the buyer moved in, it wasn't working to his satisfaction, wasn't going to where he wanted. But because he knew about it, they wouldn't cover the repair to fix the AC.
Yeah.
Now, one thing though, is that if you do have an air conditioner that's not cooled to where it should, our company does cover the Freon 100% to fill it. Now, if all of a sudden it's low again in 2 weeks, due to a leak, they're not going to refill it for free, but they will figure out what the repair is and work on that. So,
Yeah, they're definitely, I know that people are struggling getting them for their clients right now because it used to be a seller's spot. That's gone and this and that, but I'm definitely want to encourage my clients to, especially first time home buyers, just to get one. That way that they're not mad at you and you say,
right.
like, you know, I say this like single women, not like single non-handyman as well. But just like, you know, I have a single lady that's closed. I'm like, just get this because you're new to this area. You don't have to figure out who to call. It's just one person to call with any issue that comes up, and they may not cover it, but you know, chances are they will.
Well, it's peace of mind for you as an agent.
Yeah.
Like she said, clients are going to be coming to you. This is broken. I didn't know when it moved in. You know, it saves them a lot of money too if there's a repair that could be expensive. And then just for the homeowner to know that, hey, if something goes wrong, it's most likely hopefully covered under my.
I'm finding too that it's a little easier to negotiate home warranties in your inspection
Yeah.
when you come back on
Right.
that.
That's what
It used to be, their jobs have gotten significantly harder, because of the shift in the market and because we can't, I mean, you know, it's no fault to us that we
Right.
can't put it in there anymore.
Yeah.
But I have been utilizing my inspection negotiations to try and throw in a home
That's smart.
warranty.
That's really smart.
And usually the sellers like that a little bit,
Well,
you know.
especially if the house, like if it's brand new and everything's been updated and it's a, you know, flip house or something that's done well, you might have all new stuff. But if it's a house that has older appliances and things like that, you for sure want to negotiate that during the
Mhm.
inspection period.
Because just the service fee for someone to come out is $75, which is cheaper than calling a plumber off to
Sure.
the side just to look at the toilet,
Sure.
to find out the problem. And then if, you know.
Yeah, it's
problem
$99
doesn't cover
service fee for a plumber to come out.
Yeah, so right there, it's just worth it because the service fee is less. Now, if they range, our packages range from $3.99 up to $5.49. But there's one, and this is where I need my glasses. Okay. If you have new appliances and stuff, there's the $3.99 plan. Doesn't cover the refrigerator or the washer and dryer, but again, if they're new, then you don't need it.
Yeah.
So you could purchase the $3.99 plan, and then we have this preferred upgrade, which would cover additional stuff that you would get in this $6.99 plan, but it's $100 extra. So now you're spending $4.99 to get all these other bells and whistles and upgrades. That still doesn't cover the refrigerator and the washer and dryer, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
So there's ways to work it to make it affordable for the clients. You know, one thing that I like about it for myself, because I don't much do windows, is that they'll come out and do up to 15 outside windows. They'll clean them So you're paying a $75 service fee for someone to come out and clean your windows.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, same with carpet, they'll do that.
Termite treatments.
Termite treatment, pest control. They also have the rekey up to 6 locks. So there's a bunch of different things, features that are conveniences, like, again, I don't like to do windows. There's a home security system, but that's free if you purchase the monthly package, which most companies do that now, with the ABTs and stuff, but it's just so worth it, especially if you waive your inspection. I mean, I know the first time I'm being a homeowner, I was like, oh, it's so much money, I can't make, afford that, I'm up to every penny in my checkbook. And I'm so glad I got it, because it covered my stove breaking down. I mean, it was covered the whole cost basically with what was wrong with it. you
Yeah.
know?
Are you the rep for all of DFW now?
I
So it's a
am.
one-stop shop. I mean, we used to have kind of a. few
Yeah,
different
Deb's
people.
not there,
Yeah,
Glen's
Nicole's
not there,
yeah.
so it's
So-
me.
So I tell people, because we have new agents in
Uh-huh.
here, and the way the process works is whenever you're in contract and you're kind of at the, ending stages, maybe you're through the appraisal hump, and you want to have that discussion, have you got your homeowner's insurance? Great. Have you considered getting home warranty? If they haven't, and then give them the brochure, give them a few different ones, however you want to do that. But then it's like, the luxury is you don't have to have your client do it. Just tell them, pick the plan and call her, and then she takes care of it. And then the title company and syncs up, and you don't have to mess with it. And then you look like you're doing a lot of work, and really all you're doing is like, hey, pick a plan. I'll call her, she'll take care of it.
And then if there's any issues that the client might have, instead of them calling the agent, and they probably will, but you could call me and say, hey, they're having a problem with such and such. Can you help her out? And then you're out of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to be the bad one, maybe giving them some news like, oh, sorry, we won't replace the condenser because there's urine on the air conditioner.
Yeah.
So maintenance of your AC is so important. So like just wash it down with a hose every once in a while. The dirt, debris with the way the rain's been and the wind, all sorts of stuff can get in there. So that's a huge thing to look out for and I didn't know that until.
Yeah, Cottonwood, also, I used
Cottonwood's
ours
coming.
this year already. I went out and rinsed ours and realized a squirrel had chewed through the wires. And it had worked like 2 days before. And so luckily it was when we had a cold spell, or it wasn't hot yet. I called, got it fixed while they weren't busy.
Mhm.
It's fixed and we're ready for the 99-degree weather this weekend. So, but yeah, it's nice to go out and look at it.
And then as fall approaches, do the HVAC tune up for the heater, because the same thing, you'd hate for it to, if it gets that cold here, but you would hate to get.
Find out when it's 40 degrees.
Snowmageddon, and all of a sudden, and, everyone's calling,
Yeah, you're 7 on the list to be.
kind of like doing the diligence.
Are you seeing any buyers get them on their own? Like
I
I'm
am.
representing the
Yeah.
seller right now and no one's asked for a home warranty.
Yeah.
And I feel so terrible I'm like, ask for it. Like $500 is not gonna make us pick one over
Right.
the other, but my client's very reasonable and
Yeah.
would consider that.
I
but
had someone the other day purchase it, I mean. they
I'm
never-
encouraging my
Right
buyers
online.
still
I'm
too.
gonna tell the buyers that you
Like-
should probably buy it.
Like I'll half it with them at a certain price point.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm at a certain price point, I just buy it for them as a gift. At my price point average, I'm not buying it
Yeah.
as a full
Yeah.
gift. I'm not pitching some of it.
Yeah,
Well, you could say, I'll give you $3.99, and
Yeah.
then they can add to it if they
sure, they
want.
could pay the
And
difference.
if you do, I know you guys work hard to negotiate the funds for the warranties. If for some reason someone gives you $700 and they only spend the $549, then they'll keep that on our account and they can use it towards their service fees. And I think
Oh.
after 30 or 60 days, they will send a check back to the
Well, that's
buyer.
nice. You don't
So
have to
you
always
don't have to
upgrade
give it
it.
back. Yeah, and exactly, you can upgrade it, add stuff on, if you have a washer and dryer on the downstairs floor and the upstairs floor, huh, what a luxury. You would have to purchase an extra add-on package for a washer and dryer, because they're only gonna cover one washer and one
Yeah.
dryer. So if you have two, if there's an old one upstairs and an old one downstairs, and it's the washer's downstairs, the dryer's upstairs, it's gonna cover. It could cover those two, and you have two other new appliances that have warranties, so in that case, you wouldn't add it on. And they have garage door coverage and stuff like that, so it's well worth it, but again, even if you have any questions, I had Seller's coverage, that's free to the seller unless they use it. Once they use it, they have to pay the $75 service.
Will you
fee.
explain that a little bit better? Because I've never used it.
It's-
I've never